Hi, welcome to A Chef Called Rhonda. I'm Rhonda and this is my kitchen. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make polenta. P-O-L-E-N-T-A, polenta, the humble Italian food. Polenta is considered a staple across Italy, a dish of boiled cornmeal that was historically made and served as hot porridge underneath a bed of hot Italian gravy, or in modern times it may be allowed to cool and solidify into a loaf that can be baked, fried, or grilled with many tasty toppings such as local cheeses, sausages, mushrooms, and so on. Stay with me while I teach you how to make the humble Italian food, polenta. Our ingredients today for our polenta with peppers and onions are 4 cups polenta, 1 cup of water, 1 onion chopped, 2 cloves of garlic, mini bell peppers, red, yellow, and orange, a pint of grape tomatoes halved, 2 teaspoons of oregano, and some freshly torn basil. As you can see, I don't fuss too much on my chopping of our ingredients. I like to keep our veggies rustically chopped, if you will. Nothing has to be perfectly uniform. The amount of basil used in today's recipe is just about 3/4 cup, freshly torn. Can you see that? And once I completed all my chopping, I just push all my ingredients together in the dry raw form, and I make sure they're all together on the chopping board prior to going in for the sauté. I had the skillet over medium heat, and I had 1 tablespoon of olive oil to the skillet just prior to adding our medley of vegetables. After adding the oregano to our sautéed vegetables, I continue to sauté about another minute, minute and a half, just until the onion is opaque or translucent. Now it's time to start on our polenta. I have our 4-cup tepid water, 1 cup of cornmeal, also known as polenta, and we are going to start to add the polenta into the water. The water will maintain a nice even boil, and we will slowly add that polenta into the water in segments. And prior to doing so, we will add a tablespoon of salt to the water. And now it's time to add salt to our water and to begin adding our polenta in segments to the water as it comes up to a boil. We will slowly add that polenta and constantly stir. At first, it's necessary to utilize a wire whisk as we continue in segments to add the cornmeal into the warm water. We want to whisk vigorously and then transfer to that trusty wooden spoon. Polenta requires constant attention and a need to constantly stir the polenta into the water is a necessary task for this recipe. You can't really leave the stove until the polenta starts to thicken. We will then transfer to our wooden spoon and we will identify the polenta as becoming done once it is held onto the back of the wooden spoon in a very thick consistency. As I continue to show you how the polenta is becoming thick and with good consistency by constantly stirring, I wanted to stop here and let you know that I will have the entire recipe scrolling at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that so that you can jot that down in your cookbook. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to email me or comment down below. Please, I hope you hit the like button. Getting quite thick at this moment in time. We've been stirring constantly for about 5 to 7 minutes. I haven't left the stove. The heat is still rolling, and you can see right there how it's starting to really attach to the wooden spoon. And ideally what you want here is for the polenta to attach to the back of the wooden spoon without much drippage. Incidentally, if you haven't subscribed to a chef called Rhonda, please would you consider doing so? It would be greatly appreciated. We're growing as a channel. I'm super, super happy, super excited. And yes, you're seeing that correctly. I am adding a pinch of cornmeal toward the end of the recipe. And that, as Grandma would say, was for good luck, or Buona Fortuna, good luck. Anyway, we're just nearing our thickness. You can see it now, how it's really, really attaching to the wooden spoon. We are just about done. Okay, we're done, and it's time to remove the stock pot full of our polenta to our cutting board and assemble. I have a 3-inch in-depth baking dish, and I will put a little olive oil at the bottom of that baking dish. And now we begin the operation of assembly of our polenta. We bring back our sauteed peppers and onions, and we have our polenta, and it's time to address our previously oiled baking dish. And we'll begin with a little bit of sale, also known as salt, at the bottom of our baking dish, and we will assemble our polenta. It's important to note that I use a silicone spatula here to take and remove all bits of the polenta. from the trusty wooden spoon into our baking dish. And now it's time to smooth over with the back edge of that trusty wooden spoon our polenta from corner to corner, evenly spread throughout the baking dish. You can see it's nice and moist and creamy, almost porridge-like. And now it's time to add our sauteed peppers and onions on top of our creamy porridge-like polenta. So we will begin with adding the peppers right across using our trusty wooden spoon and just layering it atop, not pressing, just dolloping right across the polenta. Okay, there we are. That is it. We are all done. We have ladled our melody of peppers and onions across the hot and creamy polenta. And there you can see the thickness, and I wish you could smell it. Many thanks for watching A Chef Called Rhonda. Please, again, if you haven't subscribed to A Chef Called Rhonda, please, would you consider doing so? Before we take a taste of our polenta today, I would like to first thank all of you, my many subscribers. Our channel is building. It's been just over 6.5 months now, and we're already up to 31 subscribers. All of you that ask questions and want to see further recipes, stay tuned because let's take a little cut into our polenta. Our polenta is still nice and warm, and I'm just going to take our trusty wooden spoon here and out a little bit of that hearty polenta. I want to bring it up close before I take a big bite. Scooped out our polenta onto our little serving dish. I want to just take a bite of the polenta here and make sure I grab a bit of each ingredient, the sauteed pepper, the onion, and the grape tomato with a little bit of basil and the big pop of that fresh oregano that we added to. Oh, the polenta is just nicely salted, and the sweetness of the bell pepper and the fresh basil from the garden offers that wonderful, hearty, humble Italian dish. In Italy, polenta is often served as the main dish. Here in the States, in modern times, it's become more of an appetizer, if you will. You can grill it, you can fry it, you can bake it, and you can add any topping. That wonderful texture in your mouth, and it's so hearty. And the Italian gravy with the bits of meat would then be ladled over it, and that would be considered a meal during the week. Please, if you haven't subscribed to A Chef Called Rhonda, would you consider doing so? It's always healthy, always delicious, and always fun. Thank you so much. From my kitchen to yours, Chindan. Until we meet again, salute. Bye. Bye. Perfecto.